Trying to jump back on. Cool. All good, man. All good. Um. Anyways, yeah, kind of a weird day. Not at all what I wanted or expected. So it is what it is. But that's the realities of trading. That's why having a trade plan is so vital, and sticking to it can save you a lot of money. If you break your rules, that's where you could get hurt. I think today was a pretty easy day to lose some money. But yeah, so tradeless really the last 2 days. Nothing too special. Pretty disappointed with how NVDA ended the day. Wow, this actually fell off even harder than I thought it did. Let's see, I'll do a quick announcement. Anyone on Twitter or YouTube, you guys can comment as well. Ask questions, ask whatever you want, and I'd be happy to answer those for you. What's up, Maestro? Long time no see. Oh, sorry, guys. I'm not even sharing my screen over here on Discord. Let me fix that real quick. All right, we're live. Anyways, yeah, I mean, so you guys know how it goes. Tuesday lessons, they're free. They're more for people to just kind of pop in, ask questions. I'll do the best I can to just kind of ramble on, talk about some stuff, what happened today, what I'm looking for tomorrow, do some charting. I'll stay here for an hour, or we can stay here for 30 minutes. It's really more for y'all to ask your questions. That's about it. Where'd Apple end up today? Still sitting around 170. Once we can give up this level, it might be time for this thing to start giving up. But yeah, nothing really special happened today. Moy, I think that's how you say it on YouTube. What's up with Tesla? I mean, it had a pretty decent day today early on, and then just gave it back up. I mean, kind of the same thing happened yesterday, but we did gap up in the market this morning. Tesla was up as well. I think there was some sort of positive news this morning that kind of helped that, but really nothing that I was super happy about wanting to trade. I could have tried the 180 break, and I missed it early on just because it happened so quickly, and we had news 30 minutes into the market open, so I just kind of wanted to stand off for the most part. And then once it got above 182, that was just kind of a rejection zone up here, just looking in the past. And sure enough, we did reject again. So you regained $80. Nice. Good. But yeah, I mean, there's really just not much going on with Tesla. I hope we didn't see a low. My whole game plan on Tesla is, I want to be buying longer term calls down here. The only problem is the market's already at all-time highs. So even if I do buy calls down here and Tesla does want to start running back up, if the entire market kind of tops out and rolls over for a month or two, then that's just going to pull Tesla down regardless. So there's just really not, to me, the risk reward just really isn't there yet. If the market had pulled all the way down with Tesla as well, I'd be all over it, just because markets don't always go up and they don't always go down. So if these were aligned, I'd be happy with trying to buy some longer term calls here. But like I said, even if this trade looks good and could work, if the overall basket of stocks that Tesla's in, S&P 500, NASDAQ, whatever, if all those come off of all-time highs aggressively, well, it's not going to have enough strength behind it to hold up and keep pushing higher. So I think that trade is there. It's just, I just think the timing of it all isn't really lining up that well. So any play for tomorrow? Not necessarily on Tesla that I see. I wasn't really happy with the price action today on really anything. I wanted to see NVIDIA have a strong day. I thought today may even be the day, considering we gapped up on it. We were, within $10, $15 from all-time high. Um, and we gave up a pretty big move today. So we now have about 50-ish dollars back to all-time high, and that's just not going to happen in one day. So ideally tomorrow we see a bounce and we can get back above 950, and then maybe on Thursday we can get that trade. But however, the market is closed on Friday, so typically on short weeks, especially holiday weeks, you're going to just see slower action. It just is what it is. So my expectations were already low coming into the week. However, I did want to be positive and hope for this to happen. But not everything goes to plan all the time. So ideally, we can bounce up and close up near highs in the next 2 days, and then we get the trade next week. I don't care when it happens. I'm going to be here regardless. So it's just kind of a patience game right now. That's about it for my plan for tomorrow. I'll go through some charting here around the end, but ideally here at the beginning, I want you guys to ask your questions. I don't care if it's what the stock market is. I don't care if it's really intricate. This is what I'm here for. This is a free lesson. On my Thursday lessons, that's where I do have a set topic. That's where I'm going to have, a full on lesson that I'm going to do. But on Tuesdays, I'm here for you guys. So don't be shy. Ask away. YouTube, Twitter, you guys can ask too. Like I said, I see some more of y'all are in here now. Yeah, Moy, for sure. What you got for me, Maestro? Have you tried trading any of the Bitcoin ETFs? No, I haven't. I think I did trade BITO one time. This is an old Bitcoin ETF. I know they came out with some new ones, right? I don't know the tickers off the top of my head. But I mean, it doesn't look bad. It's just an ETF that you can trade regarding Bitcoin, obviously Bitcoin's very expensive, so it is nice to actually get to trade a US stock. Moy on YouTube, yeah, Riot and Mara, those are Bitcoin mining companies, but they will move with Bitcoin as well. So, yeah, that's good that you know that. Let me go take I haven't looked at those in about 2 or 3 days. Yeah, last time I looked, they were down. Is what it is. What's Myrna doing? Vito has options. Yeah, it does. That's the only reason why I would trade it. But yeah, you're correct as well. The spreads are wide, and I can promise you it's because there's low volume. Let's go look. Volume's actually not bad, but the spreads are wide. They're just really cheap, so that's why. The spreads are wide simply because it isn't traded much right now. Obviously, crypto's hot, so there is going to be a little bit more volume in it. But for a contract that's worth 65, 50-ish dollars, you want to see more than 4,000 volume. I mean, NVIDIA contracts yesterday that were worth $800 to $1,000 had 50 to 100,000 volume, right? So if you do the math there, this is a fraction of what NVIDIA trades in a day. You taking a look at Reddit? Yeah, I did look at it today. I do know some people that did trade it actually. It's just that and DJT today were kind of those crazy stocks. I mean, what is this? So today was day 4 on Reddit. Since we did hit a high of 74.90, I wouldn't be opposed to looking at 75 simply because of the number. But with IPOs, guys, I typically want to see it. I want to give it a couple days just to let it chill out, kind of let all this crazy volatility slow down a little bit. and let those contracts get a feel for themselves, get some volume in those contracts, just so they settle out. Because I don't want to be buying something with a 30% spread. Get in, and if I need to get in and get out really quickly, well, I have to get that bid on the contract up there, or I'm going to sell for a loss, regardless if the stock went in my direction just a little bit, right? So that's the only problem I have with it right now. But let me take a look at DJT real quick, see what that did. Oof. Wow. Fell all the way back to where it really would have closed yesterday, right? For y'all that don't know, DWAC, so yeah, it's delisted now. So DWAC was DJT. We all probably know what DWAC is. It's that Truth Social kind of stuff that Trump owns. And it closed yesterday around 53.75, and it opened today up around 58, I believe, 58.60. Yeah. Had a crazy run up to 80 and then just gave it all the way back. But I mean, guys, this is a huge reason why I'm just staying away from this stuff right now. As cool as this looks, that's just some hard price action to trade. And if you get caught in one bad pullback, I mean, it may be that the top of the day, it may be the low of the day. You just really don't want to be messing around with this stuff. Watch it, learn from it, see how IPOs move, and then look to trade it in a few days. There's no rush. The stock's not going anywhere. Let it chill out. It's kind of like GameStop. A lot of people lost money and a lot of people made money. Same case with DJT and Reddit. These crazy popular IPOs bring a lot of volume, bring a lot of action. Yeah, maybe there's still some money that could be made, but it just puts you in an environment that where you really can lose money quickly. So I rather sit back and miss out on the potential to make money and also a very high potential to lose money. Let it chill out and then come take advantage of it when this thing's moving a little bit cleaner. There's a real pattern, there's a real trend, stuff like that. Mr. Happy, you traded Reddit today? How'd you do on that? BRRR. Brr. I know of that one. Yes, Bitcoin. Just volume wise, it's just really not there for me yet. But if you don't want to go and exchange money for crypto and all that stuff, then these are names that you can trade that are pretty safe. Do you have a set capital that you use to trade with? I mean, kind of. But the way that I always teach it is, I mean, it all just depends on the trade. For an A+ setup that I may be waiting for a couple months to start happening, and it's that day, I can tell that, okay, this is the day I've been waiting on. That's when I'm going to be pretty heavy, But I'm skeptical about giving you guys dollar amount values because I don't want you to compare yourself to me. I want you to do what's realistic for you. I'm not making tens of thousands of dollars a day, but there's some days when I make four figures, couple four figures, whatever. That doesn't happen every day. There's days when I only make a few $100, but I know when to really step on the gas and when to ease off when trades aren't that good. Maybe next month volume will flow into the halving. Yeah, the halving is definitely going to bring some, at least just attention regardless, which is probably going to equal out to money. And that's when things will get interesting. Just like a lot of, if you have any extra profits laying around and want to have fun with it, no biggie, don't risk your hard-earned. Yeah, there's no reason, especially in the early stages, guys. I promise you that everyone I've taught throughout my career doing this, everyone tends to have beginner's luck. And they think that they're made for this. They think that this is easy. They think that we're born to do this. I can promise you it's not how it goes. But I can also promise you that everyone that I've taught typically does have beginner's luck, and they make money, and that's their mindset. And then they treat it like a casino. They think they're going to be a millionaire tomorrow. And believe me, I had the same mindset too. I had beginner's luck. And I was also really young when I started. So it was just an even worse, state of mind. Do you put wins back in your account and use it, or do you buy long-term stock? I don't like to. I will take, quote unquote, a paycheck out maybe every 2 weeks or every month, just depending on. I have a set amount that I leave my account at. So let's say I have a really big month. Um, and I want to stay over 25K just in case I do need to do some sort of equity stuff. But other than that, I mean, I just don't. You don't need that much money in your account. I mean, I'm not trying to trade, $50,000 positions. Typically, I won't even trade a $10,000 position. There are times when I'll do that, of course, but there's no reason to have a bunch of money in your account because, especially being new, you could then be put in an environment where you're gonna start, maybe you're down in a trade that you were in a little too heavy on, where you're like, man, I still got 5,000 more dollars on the side. Let's just put in another thousand, and then next thing you know, you're in with 80% of your entire account, and that trade's still going against you. That's how you blow up. So let's say that you can set aside $25,000 a trade. Let's just be even more reasonable here. Let's just say that you got 10 grand, and you're like, all right, I'm going to set it up a trading account. Well, you can put $10,000 in there, especially being new, and risk yourself having kind of a freak out day where you go in too heavy, and then you blow five of that, or six of that, or seven of that, or $8,000 of your 10. Well, then you're screwed. One, because that's a long road to come back from. But why not just say, okay, I have 10,000. Let's put five on the side, or let's put eight on the side. I still have that in case I blow up and have a crazy bad day and blow up all my $2,000. Well, I still got eight. You know what I mean? Besides having that money readily available to jump into a trade and try to make a ton of money, which is typically where you're going to end up losing, you have that money on the side. Think of it as being in your account. You just can't touch it. Because I can promise you, I can also tell you, well, just be disciplined enough to only use 2,000 a day. When you hit your 2,000, move on. A lot of new guys won't do that. They'll think about it. They know that's the right thing to do. But I promise you, there's going to be a day where you have a freak out and you go on what's called tilt. That's the terminology there. You go on tilt. You're not thinking correctly. When guys have done that out of the trading desk I was on, they make you leave. They make you take the week off. Like, you just have to get yourself away from the desk, because when you go, tilt is also a gambling term. When you go down a bunch of money, then you start doubling down, trying to get your money back, rather than trading your system, rather than using your set dollar amount size, your trade strategy, all that. You're just grasping at straws, trying to get your money back. And that's where things get bad. So just like in a gambling sense, a lot of these really big high stakes gamblers, they're going to have someone there, quote unquote, a coach. And if they go down a certain amount and start making bad decisions, it's the coach's job to take you away from the table. That's why they're there. And they may fight you on it, they may whatever, but their job is to get you away from the table. So it's the same thing on a trading desk. And I don't want to compare trading to gambling at all, because of course you can treat it like a casino, but there's also strategies and systems in place that people actually make a living doing this. And yeah, you can argue, well, there's pro gamblers, whatever. It's very different. But like I said, on the trading desk, the head guys can see what everyone's doing. So if they see someone going on tilt and they're screwing up and breaking the rules, well, it's the firm's money. So it's the head guy's jobs to get them away from the desk, move on, go home, come back next week. You got to clear your mind. They'll lock your account because, there has been times where someone tries to log in from home or whatever, try to trade more. And it's a roller coaster of that. I've missed a lot of questions here, guys. I'm sorry. Let me go back and look. I've had no luck. Got to work hard. 2021 took most of it back. Sucks so bad. Yeah, 2021 was tough, especially coming off of 2020 and the bull run. That bull market that came. The bear market that came right after was tough. It was tough on a lot of people. I think my first real trade was back when Quinch cut up PLTR before the boom and had a 500% trade and got wrecked the rest of the year. There you go. I keep at least 50% in cash at all times. Good, Ray. 2021 was when we really, yeah, exactly. So many people got into the market on during COVID, right? Stimulus checks, working from home. Everyone wanted to be a trader, and I bet you 90% of those guys are gone. I'm starting with 2K Can't turn that into 4. There's no need in trying 20 to 40. Exactly. If you can't grow a small account, you can't grow a big account. And I know everyone's, people may argue me on that. Well, if I had $50,000, I can make a lot more. You could also lose a lot more. You have to start thinking in percentages. Guys that are trading hundreds of millions of dollars, which I have seen in person, they're not thinking about the money. It's the trade, it's the percent, it's the risk to reward, it's the strategy, it's the trade plan, it's all of that. It's not money. You have to take the money aspect out of it to really get successful at this. Me with Holo blew a hole in my account because I had the money in my account. Now it's tied up. Bad move. Rollin, trust me, man. I've done it. One of my first trades ever was actually on I think a pharmaceutical company. I found this. I thought I was so cool on Wall Street Bets. Found this website where you could see companies that are pending for FDA approval. And I thought that this company with the first peanut allergy drug was good. And oh my God, I can make so much money off of this. And I put all my hard-earned money at 15 years old into that. And I was tied up for 4 or 5 months, you know? But again, guys, this is all stuff. 1, I've done. 2, I've seen people do. And 3, I want to talk to you guys about because I know from a personal experience what it's like. So don't be mad at yourself. Don't think that you're stupid or you're never gonna be a trader or whatever. Um, getting good at trading is learning from your mistakes and making plenty of mistakes. That's all it is. You have to learn what kind of trader you want to be, what kind of strategy works for you, how your mind works. And you're going to learn a lot about yourself from a psychological perspective to an emotional perspective. And all that. Jack Black, give me 1 sec, man. I'm going to answer these Discord guys, and then I'll get to you. When I have a good win, I start putting some of it in equity so I don't get tempted. TK, that's perfect, man. Good. If I had 50K, I would rags to riches. Yeah, that's good. All right, Jack Black, let's see here. Thoughts on Tesla. I did go over that, so I guess you got in here a little bit later. But really, Tesla's not doing a whole lot. My big idea on this is the market's at all-time highs. Tesla's actually as of last week, it's the worst performer out of the S&P 500, and Boeing is second in line. Tesla was down 36%. That was probably around when it was at 160, 165. So it may not be the worst anymore, but it's at least top 3. So I don't, as much as I want to be buying Tesla stock down here and buying long options, the market's at all-time highs. So even if Tesla does have good news and wants to start ripping and the entire market comes toppling over, Tesla's not going to have a choice but to fall again. So ideally for me to honestly give us a better price on Tesla later on, if the market does fall, Tesla can come down to 150, maybe 140, 130. That's when we can get an even better price. So we just have to be patient. If it wants to start ripping up back into 200, then whatever. I'm gonna be there to day trade it regardless. So really nothing I'm looking at for tomorrow. I mean, I might be interested in this 185 level if we do get up there and we have a strong market. But other than that, not really interested. My main upside watch is NVDA, and today kind of screwed that all up. I wanted to see this thing start trying to move for all-time highs here. We got within about $10. And today we dropped 960 to call it 920. So we dropped 40 points, just a lot. So I think getting back up to 950, 960, and then going for all-time high this week is probably out of the equation. But however, next week could happen. It's also a holiday week. So anytime you ever have a short week or we're coming into a holiday season, whether that's Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's, obviously, those 3-4 weeks, month at the end of the year, things are going to slow down. Typically, summer is decently slow as well, but not as slow as a holiday season. But just think, a lot of people on vacation during the summer. So, and we have an election year, so things may get even more choppy coming into November as well. And then I think 2025 would be a pretty freaking crazy year. So if you guys can survive and really learn how to trade throughout the rest of this year, and I know that seems like it may be a long way away, about 8 months now, I promise you this is a perfect time to learn and, get all your bad habits out of the way, learn what you're really good at. And then by 2025, if things really either fall apart or do really well, I think you're going to have a pretty solid market trend one way or the other if we don't see it by the end of this year. Um, and that's where you can make a lot of money. So hang on, survive, learn. And in a year, you're going to be so much further ahead than you are now. And you could actually make some real money next year. But again, that's just me looking long term. And I want you guys to try to start learning to look long term on this, because I feel like I started, just a few days ago, but and now showing up every day, whatever, interning on trading floors and stuff like that, it's all gone by pretty fast. And now I'm over 5 years down the line. And I look back on like notes that I find from 2019, 2018, 2020, and it's just wildly different than where I am now. So I talked with TS and Schwab today about level 2, but all they had me do was sign a thing that said I wasn't a professional. It didn't make my level 2 any different. So RB, it may take an extra day. Sometimes they make you go through some sort of process, so it may take a week. I'm surprised you didn't ask those kind of questions, but I wish I had specific answers for you. I can point you in the right direction on this stuff, but I dealt with all these problems 4 years ago. So I've kind of in obviously TD Ameritrade got bought by Charles Schwab, so they may have a different different customer service layout. I don't know exactly, but just ask questions, call again. I mean, whatever. There's so many people at that call center to help you. Sometimes you get someone that doesn't know what they're doing and doesn't want to help you. Sometimes you get someone that does want to help you and actually knows what they're doing. So give it another shot tomorrow. Well, I'm not seeing anything else on YouTube here or Twitter or Discord, guys. So we're about 30 minutes in, so I can kind of chart briefly here. I mean, I already kind of know what I want. I'm not happy with NVIDIA, like I've said multiple times. That's probably going to be done for the week. However, the market does get weak. I think Apple was just right on this tipping point here that wants to sell off. This is a pretty nice little H pattern, honestly. And we got kind of a bear flag here as well. We're just still fighting at 170. And that's why I've been harping on this 170 level all week. If we can hold under this, sellers can hold it under 170. We have a low here of 168, and I think 165 is a pretty good target if the market rolls over. So Apple did have some negative news today. In the month of February, their iPhone shipments to China was down 33%. China being one of, if not the most populated places in the world, 33% is actually a pretty big number. The stock fell pretty nicely pre-market today and then had nothing but strength once the market opened. So, I wanted NVIDIA to go up. I wanted Apple to go down, and they actually went vice versa of each other. So I stayed away. Simple as that. Trade plan wasn't there. So I didn't take a trade. The more simple you can make it, the better. I promise you. So anyways, yeah, if market falls, Apple is going to be a watch. Meta, I wanted to see this all-time high. We're now falling back into this range here. Not really interested. Netflix is just barely making new high after new high. So don't really like that either. AMD had a little bounce yesterday, but today didn't do much. We're just sitting in this chop zone here. Not interested. Even if we fall back under 175, we're just in the middle of a range. So there's just not that much there that I like. Already went over Apple. And look at Microsoft falling back into this range here around 420. That's going to act as some sort of support. Maybe we bounce and go back to all-time highs. Maybe if we fall under 420, then under like 415 into all this mess here, I won't be touching Microsoft again. Microsoft's usually something that I trade maybe 5 times a year at most. We did catch a decently nice trade for about 20 seconds the other day, which was fun. Quick little scalp. Got about 20, 30, 40% on that. I was happy. BA in the middle of a range now too, guys. This is just not levels that I want to trade. I want to trade at the bottom or at the top of levels, not in between, because you're going to just deal with chop. Let's see. What are the airlines doing? Let's just back up a little bit here. Delta, not bad. Southwest isn't doing very good. JetBlue, everything's just kind of down. What about cruise liners? I'm not super opposed to trading CCL if it gets up here around 20. I'll set an alert for that in case that comes. Chris, all good, man. You've probably heard everything I've already said. Triple M's, yeah, sitting in this kind of this range here. So pretty much what I would be like, okay, let's just draw this. Obviously, that's not perfect, but you get the picture. If we break out over 110 and get moving here, I'm interested. If we break down under 85, I'm interested. Simple as that. Anything in between, I couldn't care less if it goes in a circle or makes a triangle or writes my name. I won't trade it. Amazon still not doing a whole lot. 188.65 all-time highs. We're still just creeping up here. Let's look at SPY and the Qs real quick. I mean, guys, look how extended this is. This is just crazy to me. To me, this looks like back in these days here, kind of right after COVID. So a pullback's going to happen at one point. You know, we aren't going to do this forever. Part of me wants to just buy long-term puts on some things just to have maybe a little bit of protection there. But we just haven't fallen yet. So I rather be a little late and then catch up the bulk of the move rather than, or even half of it, or even a quarter of it, but really, really catch it, than try to get in long-term stuff right now, or even buy like a month out SPY puts or whatever, 2 months out, 3 months out, and then have to pay that premium as they lose value and the stock keeps going higher. There's just no reason to do that. There's no reason to deal with the stress. There's no reason to lose sleep at night. Let this thing roll over and then take advantage of it, you know? Makes it that much easier. I don't know where I just typed that, but Qs kind of look the same way. We're just kind of in this channel. So once this channel starts breaking, that's when I'll start really looking at it. Have you ever traded SQs or TQs? I have before. Not something I would probably do ever again, but I have traded them before early on in my trading career. I did. I used to trade. This was in my first year. I used to trade the natural gas indexes. So kind of like the SQs and TQs, meaning they're just inverses of each other. If the Qs go up, I think it's TQs that go up. If the Qs go up, SQs will go down. So it's just kind of an inverse. Maybe it's vice versa, but you get the picture. And I used to do that with natural gas, as stupid as that is. And then the one that's supposed to be the one that basically decays forever, the short one, I bought it and went down on the trade and then started holding it for a couple months, thinking, oh, it'll bounce. And then after a few months, I look back and do research on it. Well, this is going to decay down to zero. So, but I just said, no, I forgot about that until now. But think about that, guys. I've made plenty of mistakes early on. So when you make those mistakes, obviously my job is to try to steer you clear of that stuff. But don't be ashamed of it. Have you traded futures? I have not traded like raw futures. No, I have not. I've traded SPY and the QQQs and SPX, but never NDX and never like ES and NQ, because you can trade contracts on them, not options, but they're contracts on futures. But I have never done that because I like using futures as just another indicator in my trading rather than trading the actual futures. I rather see how SPY and the Qs are moving relative to my stocks because it helps me get a lot more confirmation on my trades rather than, like I said, trading the raw futures without any sort of indicator. Later, RB. Porterhouse, what's up, my man? YouTube, Twitter, like I said, you guys can ask questions if you want. I know. Who let Porterhouse in here? What was it? Let me hear it. AMC. Spy, really? SPX? Porter, just go to a casino, dude. Go to a casino. What are you doing? SPX is crazy. If y'all don't know like really how SPX trades, you can buy a contract really far out of the money. And you can trade 0 DTE every single day, right? Because they have contracts that expire Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, all the way to Friday. And I mean, some of these contracts are 100, 200, $300, and they could go to like 2-3 grand in, one decent little move on SPX. And, but again, what do you think that means on the opposite way? Well, you can lose that $100, $200, $300 contract very quickly. Yeah, if you're gonna trade it, definitely only try to trade perfect setups. I don't know if the guy is here tonight that asked me about funded accounts. Let me see what his name was. Because this is SPX is a good time to talk about it. Mr. Duel. I don't think he's in here. But I'll just tell you guys. I'm sure a lot of people know what funded accounts are and want to know more about them, but um I'm not going to really go into why I don't like them and why there's a lot of shady stuff that goes on with them, because remember, I always say, like, remember, it's a business. If the guys who own and give out the funded accounts didn't make money, well, they wouldn't be around. So just be careful with them. Do research on which ones are good or not. But what I want to talk about is, if I were forced to try to pass a funded account, this is how I would do it. On days where there's CPI, right, when that inflation news comes out, I would have two accounts, and I would know that I'm going to lose on one of them, but I'm going to go all in on calls on one and all in on puts on the other. So obviously one's going to lose, but the reason you do that is because there's going to be that crazy fast move pre-market in on SPX or ES, just the S&P in general, and you're going to be right on one. So what you have to do is, to pass the funded account, is I think they give you a goal, like you have to make 10% on the account, and you're only allowed to lose like 3% or 4% on the account, and then you fail. So I'm all in. You can make probably 30-40% on your account and pass instantly, or on the other account that you're going to be wrong on, you lose. You did that on AVG on Friday, pay for a whole weekend. Yeah, I'm talking about funded accounts, but you strangled AVGO. What'd that do? Do that on Friday, so 2 days ago. Not much happened on the 22nd, Porter. What are you doing, man? Breaking even on the opposite contract, too. Oh, nice. Okay. Well, then you did it perfectly. Cool. Well, we got about 15 more minutes here, guys. Any other questions you have? YouTube, there's a ton of people on Twitter here. You guys on Twitter, I can see the questions too, so ask away. Bottom two. Let me look. Yeah, nice. You broke even on that one too. It's pretty good. Quick $250. I remember when AVGO was doing really good. Yeah, back in this area. Broadcom. Let's see tomorrow is Wednesday. I will be doing the earnings live stream tomorrow at market close. Let me double check. I think it's like Rumble. Nothing too crazy. It is Rumble. I know that for a fact. And Playboy stock. That'll just be the other one that has any sort of significance. So Rumble, for y'all that don't know what it is, it's kind of like the YouTube competition, uncensored type stuff. Yeah, Rumble did good today before earnings. We got earnings, yeah, like I said, tomorrow at close. The chart actually doesn't look that bad to me. It's getting some sort of traction here. I don't know what the news was back in this area in January 22nd, but obviously something pretty good. We got highs over here at $11 a share. Let me go back a little bit further. It's fairly new. Okay, all-time high is $17.23 a share. So we'll see what happens. So Rumble and then Playboy. This should be it. PLBY. I know that's the ticker. Yeah, Duco. This doesn't look very exciting at all. This has to be it, right? It's a bunch of different ones. PLA. It's got to be Playboy Group. Yeah, well, this doesn't look very exciting at all. But I wonder why. Thoughts on day trading small and mid-sized companies. Ron, there's no problem with it, you know. You got to find your niche. I'm just drawn more to the mega cap companies like Amazon, Tesla, Apple, NVDA, stuff like that. Simply because one, they interest me a little bit because they're always in the news. Two, they always have liquidity. There's always money flowing in and out of them, and they're a little bit easier to predict. With the mid cap companies, they're just stuff that I'm not familiar with. You know, they're not companies that I'm super familiar with on a day-to-day basis, for one. And two, you're just going to run into liquidity problems, meaning they're not going to have much volume during the day. And, you know, they're probably going to be a little bit tougher to trade from an option standpoint, for sure. That's pretty funny, Porter. I'm not going to say that out loud, though. Well, so yeah, guys, I mean, really not an exciting day for tomorrow. I'm tradeless this week, so I haven't done anything, but I think I've made the right decision. Maybe there was a short play in the video here, but it was obviously late in the day when this thing sold off. ABC, greetings from Europe. What's up? Where are you in Europe? Options on, do you need higher funds to trade those big caps? I mean, it depends on what kind of account you have. If you can't afford a $100 to $300 contract, and maybe the mega caps aren't worth it for you. I mean, you could always go out of the money further away, you know, and trade the $30, $40, $50 contracts. You're just going to run into more problems. So, you know, I never want to advise someone to get into day trading like this with $100. You know, I feel like you at least need to have $1,000 to start, but it's doable. But again, maybe work a job on the side and just kind of get educated on this, learn from everyone, and then jump in when you're ready. And you could always paper trade as well to actually get the experience on doing it. Yeah, I mean, obviously there's going to be tickers like right now, SMCI and MicroStrategy, their options are super expensive. I mean, right now they're, you know, $2,100 at the money. MicroStrategy, those are going to be $8,000 at the money. So, I mean, obviously, and I'm not even going to signal these to you guys. If I want to go trade these on my own, I will. But it's not worth it to me at all to signal this to y'all because I don't want you going in with all the money that you have in your account just to try to follow me in a trade. I'm just not going to do it. Even the videos are pretty pricey early on this week. Typically, they're not $1,200 on a Tuesday, Wednesday, maybe on a Monday. But right now, the videos is just catching more attention again because we're coming up near all-time highs. So the options dealers, they're going to price them higher. I enjoy trading smaller price tickers. Can be cheap. Just have to pay attention. Yeah. I mean, sometimes there's just going to be wider spreads on those because they're not very volatile. There's not a lot of volume coming into them, and the spreads are going to be wide. So, I mean, you may have to pay up 10, 20, 30% just to get into the trade for an option, and then you're going to need somewhat of a significant move to actually get out for profit. Yeah, micro futures. Yeah, obviously, everyone needs to have a stop loss. It's the name of the game. Got about 10 minutes left here, guys. Fire away, or we can wrap it up. For you guys in the day trader corner, let me double check what I'm going over on Thursday night. So lesson number 2 is going to be technical analysis fundamentals. So candlestick patterns, support and resistance levels, trend analysis, and volume and price action basics. So, I'll go over what each candlestick means as well. I didn't put that in there, but obviously I'll start from the basics on candlesticks and then go into patterns and then go into volume, and then just go into simple price action stuff. And then I may mention a couple different indicators, but I do think that that's going to be in a later lesson. I should probably know this off the top of my head, but there's so many. Yeah, I do have a technical indicators lesson, so I'll probably stay away from that then. Are there any good NVIDIA options that are under 400 or under? Yeah, I mean, of course there is. There's options that are worth $9 down here. The 1070 calls, those are $9. But are you really going to make money on that? Probably not. And with a short week, you're just going to get eaten up by time decay. That's just the only problem you run into trading that far out of the money. But yeah, I mean, you could trade for under $400. You could still trade the 960 calls here, or the 895 puts. Those are all under $400, and I think those are reasonable for sure. They got decent volume. 960 calls right now. Today they had 48,000 volume, 8,500 open interest. Those are tradable, 100%. Are those options on Robinhood too? Yeah. These options are going to be on every trading platform there is. I would think. I mean, I hate Robinhood, so maybe not, but these are universal options that you should have. You may just have to find the setting to where you can see all of them, because if you're looking at my screen right now, I mean, look, I can do like 10 of them. So I can only see these 10. I can only see these 14, or I can click all and I can see all of them. I mean, we have the 250 strike for a put. They're worth $1 right now, but or I can go all the way out to the 1940 call. So that's why I typically keep mine at 50. The spread could definitely be different on Robinhood. Again, I hate Robinhood for many reasons, so use that at your own risk. If you're looking, I have nothing against it if you're using it to swing trade. If you're looking to day trade, though, off your phone, I would stay away from it. What platform do you prefer? I always advocate for Think or Swim. It's free. I started on that. It's what you're seeing right now. So I use this for charts. I do pay for a different software nowadays to do my buying and selling, but I use this for a chart, and you can still buy and sell on this as well. I'll just quickly show you what it looks like. So pretty simple. I can just make this a little bit smaller over here, do my buying and selling here. You could do your options over here as well. So this is what it would look like for me, but that's how it goes. So I would start on this. I know it really well. I can help you with it pretty easily. But the other platform I use is Interactive Brokers, IBKR. I pay, I think, about like 100, 115 bucks a month for it, just because it gives me a bunch of other tools to use that I need. But you're not even going to probably not understand. If you're coming from Robinhood, you're not even going to understand what you're looking at if you saw my screen. So just take your time and learn one thing at a time. Other good ones, Webull, I think, is okay. Trading View is another good one that's free. If you're looking to find, for anyone that's at the point where they do want paid ones, IBKR, so Interactive Brokers is good. Lightspeed is good. And there's one other one. I forgot the name. I know Lightspeed and Interactive Brokers are pretty much the same thing. I think one's called Trade Station. Guardian Trading, I think, is another one. But for what I do, Interactive is kind of the perfect fit for me. Yeah, there's a lot. I mean, and that's not even getting into the proprietary stuff. When I was working on the trading desk, they have their own built software for them specifically, and it was unbelievable. I didn't like it at all, actually, from a chart perspective. So a lot of guys still use Thinkorswim there for their charts, but the buying and selling was pretty crazy. Is Thinkorswim a direct route? I don't know what that means exactly, but you can do everything you can on Thinkorswim, and it's a bank. It used to be TD Bank, but Charles Schwab bought them within the last couple months. So you'd pretty much be opening up a bank account with Charles Schwab, and then that's it. It's simply just a bank account that you can then fund your account with on here, and then you just download the free software on your desktop or laptop or whatever. Let us smash. Who's that? You do go in his lunchbox. That's pretty funny. Hey, dropping hook for spreads and Webull for day trade cash account and other than Webull. That's good, TK. I do the same thing. Maestro, take care, man. Good to see you. Let us just start with $1,000, man. Don't do 250. Just trust me on that. Start with 1,000, and also this used to be the case. I don't know if it's still the case anymore, but you would have to have $500 at the very least in your real trading account on Thinkorswim for you to then, Chris, later, man. Yeah, we're about to wrap this up any minute. You'd have to have $500 in your trading account to then unlock real-time data on paper trading. So if you didn't have the $500 in there, you could still paper trade, but you're going to be at a 20-minute delay. That may not be the case. So again, look it up. That was the case 2 years ago. So yeah, I would start with 1,000. Again, it's paper. I mean, 1,000 is next to nothing in the trading world. So start with 1,000. Look, I would say your max risk per trade should be about $50, and just see what happens. You know, you have paper trade to mess around on. IBKR Lite, yeah, I've heard of that. I haven't tried it yet, but I mean, I'm sure it's pretty similar to what I use. So, well, guys, we got about 2 minutes here. If you guys have any last minute questions, ask away. If not, then we can get out of here. It's been pretty good. A lot of questions on the Discord side, at least. You guys on YouTube and Twitter, pretty quiet. I don't think I have real time on Weeble, my kind of version. Maybe so, Duco. I wish I knew more on Weeble. I just don't. Never used it. I'm sure there's some sort of pro plan. I don't know, for 10, 20, $30 a month or something. Someone said the other day that level 2 on Weeble is like $3 a month, which is insane. Because I pay like over $100, but it's worth it. Yeah, look into it or send me a screenshot or something, Duco. Yeah, the chart seemed to be fairly good on Weeble, but all right, guys, we got about 1 minute here, so ask these last minute questions, then we'll get out of here. What does Stocks Buddy work with? I wish I knew, Porterhouse. This might be your area of expertise. I don't know. I know it works with TradingView. I know that for a fact. I don't know any other platforms that it does work with. But you could, if you do purchase it, you can use TradingView. It's obviously TradingView is free on the side, and you can just pull up that chart on the side if you want to use Stocks Buddy along with whatever chart you use now. All right, guys. Yeah, thank you. Y'all have a good night. And I'm not live trading tomorrow, but I will be live trading Thursday morning for the free guys as well. And then we have a premium lesson over technical analysis fundamentals on Thursday night. I think Stocks Buddy is great, Ron. It's really, really good, to be honest with you. Having a stop loss and profit targets and all that stuff set for you is pretty baller, especially for the price it is. I mean, I've seen indicators way worse priced way higher. So, and that's not even me selling you on it. All right, guys, you all have a great night, and I'll be in the Discord tomorrow. So, text me if you need me. Later.